Dave from Tabletop Time, I am very sorry. At one point we talked about making Mordheim warbands together and playing a game in the far distant future, except I might have accidentally started making one today. So you might need to get a wiggle on. I think I'm going to be running Cult of the Possessed. I just started thinking, hey, do I have a miniature for that thing? Do I have a miniature for that thing? Do I have a... Alright. Got it. In this little bag is, I think, going to be the Dark Souls in my Cult of the Possessed warband. Dark Souls are men who have been driven insane by the demonic possession of which became all too common after the destruction of Mordheim. The demons have left the bodies of these men, but their minds have been scarred by the horror of their existence. These are miniatures from Grombat Mole. And I got them while I was at Ramshackle Games in the UK. I think they make perfect Dark Soul models. They'll fit the bill. They'll fit the bill. I also have a model I've been wanting to use for a very long time. I want to use this monstrosity as my Beast Man. It is very tall for a Beast Man, but I think 2 wounds, it's lanky, it doesn't look very strong. I think thematically it's fine. And the height is only putting me at the disadvantage. So it's going to be easier to be shot at. So it's putting me at the, and that's fun. That's totally cool. Magisters lead the Covens of the Possessed. They have been granted magical powers of their patron gods, utterly dedicated to bringing chaos to the world. Very cool. I got all these beautiful bits from Adepticon. These are designed by Gardens of Hecate for Totally Not Panicking Matt for Smash Bash. I reckon I can use these, and coincidentally in this box, I think someone was just throwing away a box of stuff they couldn't sell or something, and I just grabbed this, and it's from a board game. I can't remember which one, but I think Jeremy Blackmagic Craft did a video on it. That thing. That's the one. But what's the game called?
I showed you this copy of the Dark World board.
Dark World. I might convert this, though. Is that sacrilegious? These bits would look so much nicer. Maybe sacrilegious. Who cares? Who cares? I want to maybe put a staff in the hand, maybe cut the head off because this head's quite cool. I think I like the dagger. I don't love the big chunky hands. Maybe like a Chels type beat. The possessed have committed the greatest of heresies. They have given their bodies to the demons. They can't have weapons or armor. The powerful spirit of a demon can meld several creatures together. Well, that's... When I was at Adepticon, my friend Nick sculpted me this. He bought the body from the bits market and then green stuffed this wonderful head. Nick from Niche Crafts, who's working on a fantasy army at the moment. Incredible. I think I'm going to use this for Possessed. That means one of these claws has to go. Gotta find a new arm now. $7. Nick! Did you pay $7 for me? You bloody legend. Alright, so I've been doing some quick maths to try to build a list. Basically all the models that I've shown you so far, that's all my dosh, basically. I think looking at my rules and the collection of miniatures that I've decided I like, nothing is very, it's probably not a great list. In all honesty. But that's not what it's about. It's about using the cool models. You know what? I think it's getting kind of late, and I think we just need to commit to some ideas. There's definitely going to be some unhappy people with me doing this, but there'd be thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of this miniature. So, but we're still going to treat it with respect, you know? Tidy it up properly. Can't tell if it's cool yet. I have another quick Beastman idea. Maybe. I just showed Rachel and she described it as cutesy. So, not what I want. I'm gonna trim it down. Now I've got to tidy up this Magister and clean up all the damage I did. I also made the model look a bit more feminine presenting because I think that's kind of cooler. And I tried to make the hands less chunky by essentially just re-sculpting them. I replaced the horns with antlers on this model too. This is another one of the models I made. This one was sculpted by Rachel, who is my beautiful partner. And honestly, it feels kind of cooler if I kitbash my models instead of just using them as is. These Dark Souls miniatures I'm using, I'm just adding the tiniest amount of extra detail to the eye so they match the design of the Magister's eye that's in the weird starfish face that I made. I replaced the hand on the possessed model that Nick sculpted on, and I bulked out the thighs, which sounds suspicious, but I mostly did this so there was some balance to the miniature because it's very top heavy with a new sculpted head. And then this impromptu miniature just kind of happened. This is to represent another possessed model. The pot that I'm using is called a vessel, and it's a model from Tanner Simpson. And the other parts are from that Smash Bash model kit. As you play games of Mordheim, you might end up wanting to acquire an ogre bodyguard. While I won't start the game with one, other players might end up wanting one pretty soon, and Mordheim is a community game, so sometimes it's nice to have models available for people to borrow so they can keep playing immediately. I made this miniature when I visited Nottingham, and I kind of made it with the idea of it maybe being some sort of troll or ogre for Mordheim. It was designed digitally and then made real thanks to the wonderful faux hammer. I am a little bit conflicted though because I also got given a very, very cool miniature while I was over there. This beauty is a Ralpatha three-headed troll, I think, but it's based on the Three Stooges. Isn't that fun? It is quite small though, so I ended up hacking together this. I haven't finished it, it's pretty rough. Basically just made out of bits from these orcs. What about this miniature though? I'm thinking it could be a mutant. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Well, while I do this, I just want to apologize to Monk, who was very kind to give me this model. But look, I'm guessing he knew exactly what I would end up doing with it, making it a monstrosity. That's quite fun. So we have the Beastmen. I've made 3 of them. I'll only be running 2 of them to start with, but one might die, so still good to have. These will be my Dark Souls. Sorry, that looks ridiculous, but in a good way, I guess. Yeah, my possessed. This will be my mutant, ogre bodyguard, and my magister with a tiny little familiar. My friend Elle Graves, she sculpted this and we printed it in Nottingham. So not all these will get used immediately, maybe not at all. Who knows? I haven't actually written my final list yet, and I still need to make some Brethren models, but enough to start for sure. So I'm at the front of my mate Cameron's house at the moment. About a year ago, I made a Lustria themed Mordheim table, and he's been storing it while we haven't been using it. But now it's going to a local game shop as a nice display in their windows, but also so we can occasionally play on it. Oh, and we've also got to take the big one too, the concrete block one. I forgot I made a whole pit. Yeah,
That's for my pit fighters, mate.
I honestly, 100%, genuinely, I forgot how many tables I've made because they've been stored away. I went to Cam's to get 1 table and I left with 3. And we took these to the local game shop, Gaming Nexus. Liam, the owner, he's been very, very good to me over the years and helped support my endeavors as much as he could. So this is my way of paying that forward. Mordheim for me is definitely a magic game because it has this way of bringing communities and people together. And I think so much of that is that there's no longer support from the company that made it. It relies on people and their devotion and their love for something to get together, to make new models, to make new rules, to organize events, and to keep the spirit alive.
The backpack, both shoulder blades, the covers for the weapons, so for example in bulk it's on here.
Trent's gonna end up putting on like his YouTube thing. It'll just be like
straight
us
on
eating,
Instagram.
him working hard after sitting around eating, and he'll be like, oh, no wonder why like we can never play.
We've now got the 2 major colours.
Tabletop time, Dave. Hope that's convinced you. I hope you play some games with me, my friends if you want to. Maybe we should play a game at PAX. I think Mordheim is one of the most important games ever made. I think you'll have a blast. And that is episode 1, everyone. See you for episode 2.